Welcome to the Carry On Couple Podcast with Ryan and Katrina. This is our podcast about our adventures and how we make life magical. We're going to tell you all about how we travel the world on a tight budget and still make it awesome.
We can't say that our way will work for everybody, but we want to share our experiences with you so that you might be able to have your own travel adventures. And if you're listening, we want you to know that you and I, we're in a club now, the Carry On Club.
Hello! This is episode number 1.
That's the first.
That's the first one. That's right. Episode number 1, insert excuse here. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm Katrina.
And we'll be here for as long as we're running this podcast. So the title's insert excuse here. Why are we doing that as the title?
Well, basically, we have a lot of people who ask us, oh my gosh, how can you guys travel so much? How are you doing this? We kind of think that's weird, but it's shortly after followed up by, oh, I can't travel because insert excuse here.
Yeah, insert excuse here. So we're going to talk about some of these excuses, and I don't know if we're going to really quite debunk all of them right away, because we have future episodes in mind where we're going to debunk some of these, but we're definitely going to talk about them. So excuse, we just have a list here, and we're going to go down the list, and we're going to talk about most of them here. So excuse numero uno.
The first.
What is the first? Just like this episode number 1, excuse number 1. What is the one thing that somebody always says, hey, I can't do because
money? They can't afford it. It's too expensive. Oh my God, how?
Yeah. I don't want to say it's not a valid excuse.
I totally understand that it's a valid excuse.
Yeah.
But there are ways to make it less valid.
Yeah. So a lot of the people, reason why money's an issue is because they're in debt. Some people just say they're bad at saving. Mm-hmm. And that one drives me nuts, is the bad at saving part. We actually, coming soon, we have a full episode on saving money. So we're going to be talking ad nauseum about that.
It's not as hard or scary as you think. You can still have a fun life and save money.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
So we will talk about that, very much so. Next one would be time off.
Yes. And that could include a lot of things like, well, my schedule doesn't meet up with my so-and-so schedule, either, partner, couples, schedules, friends, whatever. Schedule doesn't meet up, or it could be just they're afraid to ask for time off, because especially here in America where we are, a lot of people think they can't ask for time off, or they might not get that promotion, or they might miss out on something.
Guilty.
Or their boss is gonna say no anyway, so they don't want to ask. But I mean, if you don't ask, you're never gonna get a yes. That's definitely true.
And that actually took a long time for you to get through my head. Yeah. I also worked for a certain company that it was really hard to get time off. It was doable, but you had to expect a no. But we managed to get yeses for some very big vacations that we've done, merely because I asked. Yeah. Another big one for time off is this actually coincides with numero uno, is there's no paid time off.
Yeah, so if you're gone and you're not working, you're not making any money. Again, I totally understand, but there are ways to make that less important. Yeah,
and again, we'll be talking about that in our saving money episode, soon to be titled. But yeah, so I don't know, anything else about money or time off that you want to touch on? We've already gone through 2.
I think those are 2 probably covered pretty well for this.
Okay.
Just,
Okay. So this is something that we do really well together. You'll have to apologize for us. We're still getting over a severe cold. So if you hear any coughs or sneezes or sniffles,
me
too. But anyways, so this is another one that we do very well together, and it's a big reason why we can go on vacations. What do we do really well?
Plan.
We are really good at planning.
We're really, really good at planning. And a lot of people, sometimes they tell us they're not good at planning because well, maybe they don't know how to plan or they don't have time to plan. But I think my favorite one is gotta be, what do you call it?
If you're in planning limbo,
Planning limbo.
where you have the plan or you like started the plan and you just don't finish the plan
Yeah.
and go through with it.
Yeah, you leave it in limbo, so it's like this nice idea that you get to talk about and think about doing in the future one day.
Which actually leads to our next one. This is another excuse that people always use. It's just simply, in quotes, one day I'll go.
Yeah. And, you know, what I have to say about that is why not today?
Yeah. So the one day I'll go, some of the things we kind of have for that is it's not the right time. I've never traveled before, so one day I'll do it. I'm too old. I'm too young.
Yeah, my favorite. Oh, why are you traveling now? You should just wait till you retire.
Well, we will travel when we retire.
Just
That's our
why
answer.
wait?
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
do it
we'll
now.
travel now and travel when we get older. We've actually met a lot of people. We might talk about this in future podcasts also, but my favorite thing is meeting people that skip right over the one day I'll go, and we talk to them and they're retired and say, "Oh yeah, we've been traveling for the last 40 years." I love that. We've
Yeah.
met people in several countries that have done that, and that's where we want to be. Um, if you say one day I'll go, mean it. Mean it that one day you'll go and make it a sooner day than later. Like, why
Yeah.
not? It just comes with you have to plan it properly, and we do have a whole episode planned that might be 2 episodes of
Yeah.
just planning coming.
There's a lot of tips there.
A lot of tips on planning. That's one of our favorite things to do. Another one that doesn't really apply to us.
Totally doesn't apply to us.
No.
Not really like.
Well, I mean, it
Does
doesn't
not
apply to
apply
us.
to
We have them in our lives in some ways, but
True,
it's
but
if you
we're-
have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have
We
kids.
don't have kids.
No.
He made that sound kind of weird. We do not have
We,
children. We have nephews that
have
we
nephews.
babysit.
Yes.
We have no children of our own.
Right.
So we can't really like hate on you if you've got kids and you don't think you can go places. I still think it's possible.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
hear it's
more
possible. We've seen people doing it, and not just like Disneyland trips and everything. We've seen people in other countries traveling with their ute.
Yes.
So
Very young ute.
so yeah, we're hey, Mom, Dad, if you want to come on the episode and tell us how you guys traveled with us, that'd be great. Something that other people, this is kind of one that
This is something that you kind of had on our
Yes.
first trip.
yes.
I surprisingly did not have these fears, but you did.
Yeah, it was safety. I mean, okay, so one of them we have here for safety is fear of flying. I never really had a fear of flying.
Yeah.
I love flying.
Me too. It's a great nap.
She sleeps on
A good
planes.
16-hour nap is all I need.
I can't sleep on planes. Well, I can, but not like her. Anyways, some of the safety things is some people are afraid they're going to get mugged. They're going to, I don't know, the scammers are going to get
know.
them, the
Yeah.
gypsies. Just think of it this way. Where you live now, wherever you live now, there's people getting mugged. There are scammers. There are gypsies in a sense. They exist everywhere. What you basically have to have is I don't know, like a
No, just be aware of your
Aware-
surroundings. It's
awareness.
the same things that you would do at home. You need to be aware of what's going on around you and try to make yourself a less obvious target.
yeah. And one of the biggest things with safety
Oh my gosh.
is you've seen let's see, you've seen Taken,
Yeah.
or Hostel, or Human Centipede.
Right.
Again, well, first I want to say again. First off, those are movies, and yeah, I'm sure stuff like that happens. But people always say like, "Oh, it's gonna happen to me." Like it doesn't happen to everybody. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Because we've traveled a lot of places. We've been to hostels. They're fine. They have great meals. They have great people.
Great place to meet friends.
Yeah. Well, one of them that's also kind of doesn't apply to us is you just don't have anybody to travel with, or there's no travel buddy. Um, Katrina was going to go on a cruise without me.
Yeah, I totally was because he couldn't get the time off of work, and I was like, I am going by myself. It can be kind of scary though to go somewhere by yourself, especially if you're not like a very seasoned traveler. I could see that being a reason that would maybe scare people into not going, but there are a lot of great ways to help make that not a valid excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, that again for me, I've never really traveled by myself in a sense. I have traveled like with people and gone off, like when we did go somewhere, I've kind
Mhm.
of gone off by myself, but I
Yeah,
still had that safety and security that somebody was there in the strange place that I'm in right now. So
right.
it's kind of, I don't know. That one doesn't really apply to me. But kind of understandable, but there are so many resources out there to find a way to make that possible and easy and simple, and how you can meet people
Mhm.
that aren't going to Liam Neeson murder you and stuff like that.
I mean, well, he would save you, but yeah,
Well, I mean, unless you're the one taking.
true. But why? I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
we're on the same page. That's
Oh
good. um, I like this one. Let me try this one. I just can't.
my God! Don't do that again.
All right. Okay. Okay.
No, but really though, a lot of people like they don't even have a actual excuse. It's just something in their head that is a negative barrier where they're sure it's not possible for them, but they don't know why. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
And I think those people are crazy.
Yeah. If you're saying you just can't travel, you probably really don't want to.
Yeah, which is fine.
That's fine. Yeah, you don't have to travel if you're not into traveling. Um, you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Very,
Yeah.
very probably.
Those are like the main big hitting ones that we have. So money is always number one. Getting time off. You don't know how to plan. The whole one day I'll go eventually sometime. If you have kids, you don't think it's safe. You don't have someone to go with. I just can't.
I said not to do
I'm
that
sorry.
again.
I'm sorry. I had to.
Ah.
But we have a couple other ones here that maybe we'll get into, but I'm gonna go through them real quick here just to list them off. Some honorable mentions of excuses here. There's a language barrier. Where do I go? I'll get lost.
I get lost everywhere.
It's the busy season. I have school, or insert excuse here. So actually, you know what? Let's talk about these ones a little bit. Why
Yeah,
not?
some of these are really good. So,
Yeah.
language barrier can be very daunting.
Mhm.
It can be scary to not understand what anyone around you is saying. But there's so many ways that you can make this less scary. I don't know. And
Well,
it's
okay. So first of all, fortunately, if you're not really a seasoned traveler, you're probably going to stay somewhere very touristy, at least to start
true.
out with. And another fortunate thing is because of I don't want to say because of the United States, but because of the US and like London and a lot of English main speaking countries, English is in most tourist places.
At
You'll
least to some extent.
you'll find some of it, whether it's poorly translated or not.
Yeah.
You'll find it in some way. So and a lot of people speak English as well, and it's not, you know what, another one honorable mention I can add here on top of language barrier
What is it?
is people hate United States.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. But
I know.
yeah, this
um
is true.
and I will say that there are people that hate United States, but it's not everybody. Like, not even, I want to say, like, 98% of the people we meet are happy to talk to us.
Yeah, and with that one, I think it's partially about how you present yourself. Like,
Yeah.
if, sad to say, but if you're acting like a dumbass, they're probably gonna think you're American.
Yeah.
But if you're not, they might not be able to tell, and they're probably like, we just have a bad rep about being loud and obnoxious.
You're saying we as a country, not we as in you and
no,
me.
no,
Yeah.
no, yeah. We as Americans have a bad rep, and they just get, you know, that whole negative outlook.
Yeah. But, like we've been plenty of places where we just go in kind of using the golden rule. We treat them how we'd want to be treated,
Yeah.
and if you're just nice to people, they'll be nice back. It's no
Yeah.
big deal. They don't care. You're giving them, or yeah, you're probably giving them money. They want money.
Yeah, and it's also, especially if you are in a different country where English is not the main language or a language at all, don't expect other people to speak English.
Right.
And even if you don't know the language, try to communicate some other way, but don't just get frustrated and like get mad at them for not speaking your language.
Pro tip, saying it louder in English and using your hands doesn't help.
Does not help.
What you can do is use your resources. Charades
sometimes help.
Yeah, or find something and point to it. Maybe like,
yep.
Like maybe you're looking for a taxi or something. Point to a car and say that you're trying to get somewhere, or just learn a couple of words. Hello, goodbye, thank you, please. The nice
Beer,
words.
food, toilet.
Yeah. Oh,
important stuff.
Toilet is a really important one. Especially when you go somewhere that doesn't use like the Roman letters. That's something that uses like characters. Like if you're going to an Asian country, you will learn what toilet looks like very quickly. And exit is the one that you learn really quickly. Exit was one that I can probably draw you exit in Mandarin, I guess it would be. This is that little box dude.
That's true. I remember that.
So language barrier, there are plenty of apps out there to help you. One of them, we actually purchased an app. We usually don't purchase apps if we don't have to. We purchased an app called Say Hi. I want to say it was maybe like $5.
Maybe $5.
Tops. It wasn't that much money. Cheap. And basically what it is you can talk English into it by holding a button down, and it will translate into whatever language.
It might not be perfect, but it definitely helps in communicating.
The even better part about this is when they're ready to answer you, you can press the button that shows their language, they talk into it, and it translates into English back to you. Yes. This isn't the only app that does that. There are other apps that do it. This just happened to be the one that we downloaded to use.
Awesome. My favorite, though, has got to be, like, of the honorable mentions, my favorite has to be, like, I'm gonna get lost. Because anyone who knows me knows how good I am at getting lost. And I say it that way because I don't think it's a bad thing. I go on a lot of adventures just by getting lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not, like, getting lost can be scary for sometimes, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Sometimes you end up places you might not have ended up otherwise, and you get to find things and see things that you never would have found or saw otherwise, which is awesome. And I don't know, I just think it's not a real excuse for not going somewhere. As someone who gets lost at home constantly, I actually had better directional skills in Italy than I've ever had here in the United States.
Yeah, so on getting lost, I mean, we have gotten lost before, especially in countries where we thought we had it. We thought we were like, okay, we're good. We know where to turn this way, where to turn that way. And then their addresses are all different. Mm-hmm. They don't work like America. That's fine. It's okay. It was scary, especially for me. That was our first trip we went on. I was freaking out. But we still made it. We figured it out. We asked people for help. We ran into a couple people that lived in Chicago for a little bit, so they helped us out for a little bit. Yeah. But about getting lost, we are gonna have an episode talking about traveling as well, like using ground transportation as far as walking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you now, Google Maps will help you a lot. If you take a Google Map and download it as an offline map, you can use it when you have no internet.
Yes.
And let me be clear. You will not have internet. Yeah.
Unless you like spending a lot of extra money.
Yeah, and we're not about that. We're about budget traveling.
That's true.
So yeah. So getting lost, that's a funny one. The one of them that I think is my favorite is where do I go? Like, well, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Where is there a place you've always wanted to go? Did you see something on Facebook said, "Wow, I want to do that." For example, the luging. I wanted to do luging. We went to New Zealand. We luged. That was awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, you could like blindfold yourself with an atlas and like stick your finger down and just go there. Or, yeah, if there's anything you've ever thought, like, it'd be really cool if I could go to wherever and see this one thing. Hey, look, you've got a destination. Make it happen. You'll find other stuff to do there. Just because you don't have a big long list for this location, like maybe you really only know you want to see this one thing or do this one thing, there's gonna be so much other stuff for you to see and do.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I think we're going to at least graze upon that again in a future episode. Another one that okay, it's the busy season. There's always going to be a busy season somewhere, and for me, I'm a school teacher, so the only time I can travel is the busy season.
Which I absolutely hate.
We don't like it, but we still do it.
We still do it.
We still do it.
I try to find places that the summer might be their shoulder season or off season. Doesn't always work. And sometimes you just, do I still go to Disneyland on a day when it's crowded? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just suck it up and you do it anyway.
Yeah. So the busy season isn't really a valid excuse for us either. We still do it. You just have to go with the mindset knowing it's going to be busy.
Yeah.
And just be prepared for that. So that way, if there are parts of your trip that aren't busy, it's that much more pleasant.
Yeah, you're like, this is amazing. Can't believe it. I thought this was going to be packed and it's not. Woohoo!
Yeah. So probably one of the most valid excuses aside from being in debt for me is school. We understand people will go to school.
Yeah.
But there still are ways to travel while you're in school. We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our first trip we did together, we were together for a year, and we went to Florida.
We did.
For like a weekend or something like that.
No,
or actually,
it was a week.
It was a week. Yeah, while we were in school, we just found a time. Like I think it was
winter break.
Yeah, it was a break, so it was busy, but but it was winter in Florida, so it wasn't as busy as it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole plethora of excuses.
I'm sure that you can tell by now that part of the reason we are able to travel so much is because we don't believe in excuses for not traveling.
Yeah, so that actually kind of leads us into our next thing is how do we get around this? We don't think about it. As far as those excuses, we don't really think about it. We start planning, and then we kind of let the planning organize our trip, because then we figure out, okay, when's it going to be the best price? When's it going to do this? When's it going to do that? And then it's like, oh, okay, now we know we can afford traveling in this month.
Yeah.
So let's make ourselves available.
I mean, I have like a list of places that we want to go. And then sometimes I just randomly look up like, oh, when's a good time to visit China? Or, whatever the next place on our list is. We already went to China, so I don't think we'll be going back there soon, but
I'd like to go back.
I would like to go back, but I don't think it's at the top of our list right now. We have other places.
We have other places that
we're
are
interested in for right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just, keeping your options open, and like you said, not thinking about it. I didn't realize this until Ryan pointed it out to me, but when we plan vacations, money is typically one of my least stressed out about parts of the planning process. I assume that we are going to figure the money out.
Yeah.
Or
it's true.
I
always
set a budget and I'm like, well, this is how much money we have to spend and it's gonna work. I just don't freak out about it.
I always say that I'm the voice of reason. when she's like, "Oh, we're gonna go here. Great. When do you want to do that? Oh, you want to do this in 2 months? We can't afford this." And then we afford it.
And then I'm like, "But can't we?"
Yeah.
And somehow we figure it out.
Yeah. So that's great. Well, yeah. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about on these subjects? We got all this list here.
I know. Well, hopefully, I don't know. If you guys have thought of any other reasons or excuses why you can't travel and you want to hit us up and let us know what they are, feel free to send us those on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just search Carry On Couple Podcast. You just search that and it'll pop up. Right now, as of this recording, our picture is of me dipping my lovely wife on a glacier. So it's a very blue picture. It's very beautiful. So again, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Carry On Couple. If you look up Carry On Couple Podcast, we will pop up. And you can listen to us in a lot of places. Again, as of this recording, we got Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud. All we need to do is post this podcast, this recording that we're doing right now, and we should be good for iTunes.
Yeah, super exciting.
Yeah.
But like I said, we would absolutely love for you to contact us and tell us if there are any excuses that we've missed. I find it very interesting to hear reasons why people won't travel, because it's fun to kind of try and figure out how you can work around them and make them no longer valid excuses. So totally let us know.
Yeah.
Rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion.
I like that as the end of it. Rule 76, no excuses, play like a champion. Thank you for listening this week. If you enjoy this show, please share us with your friends.
And review us.
That's right. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Seriously, we're everywhere.
Everywhere. You can follow us too on Twitter at Carry On Couple PC, Instagram or Facebook. That's Carry On Couple Podcast. And you can also email us.
That's right, at carryoncouplepodcast@gmail.com.
Now, we're all about these free podcasts. We're just doing this for fun. Really, we are. However, if you do want to support us, we won't say no to money. Just go to anchor.fm/carryoncouplepodcast and click the support this podcast link. We have an exciting opportunity for you. That's right, you can be heard on Carry On Couple Podcast.
What?
That's right. It's simple. You just download the Anchor FM app, search Carry On Couple Podcast, tap voice message, and start recording.
That's right. And if you have any tips and tricks of your own that you want to share, or any fun destination stories from a recent trip that you went on, please leave us a message.
The great thing is you can still listen to Carry On Couple Podcast on the platform of your choice. But if you want to be heard, download Anchor FM and leave us a message.
Until next week, thanks again, and remember, you and I, we're in a club now.